Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kadash. Shalom to you members of the elect out there. This is your brother, Elder Bishop Ayathon, back at you with another video. This video is pretty much inspired and a land back off a live stream that the Elder Yashawamba did earlier today on his channel, Remnant 144, right here. And the live stream is called The Great American Eclipse will cross over 7 locations called Nineveh on April 8th. And this was an excellent live stream. You should definitely go check it out. And he went into, now I didn't catch the whole thing. I caught like the latter end of it. But he was going into comparisons between Nineveh and America. And America is a spiritual reincarnation of Nineveh and all the wicked kingdoms and cities in the past. And he was going into many things, just comparing the abominations like cross-dressing and LGBTism and all that. And, you know, you had the men of the Lord that were vexed, like Jonah, the men of the Lord today that are vexed with the filthy conversation, the wicked, as the scriptures say, and just all the works, the filthy and dirty and abominable works, you know, that are going on today that are reminiscent the same spirit of those kingdoms in the past that came up and were destroyed because of such wickedness. America is no different. You know, America upholds all those ancient wicked kingdoms, and this is what Daniel saw when Nebuchadnezzar, when he saw the image. He saw himself in the image and then other kingdoms. And at the end of the ordeal, the total image was destroyed by Yahushai. And I believe that this great American eclipse is more confluence that Yahushai is about to make his entrance. He's about to make this entrance and take this place down, this kingdom down. Teotwaki, the end of this world, the end of the world as you know it. Now, let me pull up the scripture here. Hold on a second. Now, when I was listening to the elder do his live stream, what immediately came to my mind, because before this I wasn't aware of the Great American Eclipse. So as he was going into it, what immediately came to my mind was Yahushai when he was crucified. There was also an eclipse during that time. And there were many things that are similar to when Yahushai left that are going to happen when he comes back. So let me, what scripture I was going to bring out? So this is what I want to bring out here first. So Jeremiah 10:2, thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. Now, when you look at the word dismay, let's look at that. Consternation and distress, typically that caused by something unexpected. Okay? Why? Because the Most High set up these different signs in the heavens, like eclipses, for instance, like this eclipse and other shooting stars and comets, these phenomenons that happen in the heavens. The Most High set them up as signs that he's about to pass a great judgment, or signs that there was a changing of an era or time, or some spectacular event was going down. So these would be the signs the Most High would give. And Israel as a nation, we used to be much more spiritual as a nation, and we understood these things, and we would be on a lookout. You know, nowadays, our people have totally been disconnected from the Most High. They don't know him at all. They don't know what these signs mean. And we have had many eclipses and blue moons and events that usually are very spaced apart. You know, hundreds of years spaced apart. They say the Great American Eclipse happens every 345 years. But when I did a little bit of research, there was one that happened in 2017. There was one that happened in the 80s. So it's unusual to have this many eclipses and blue moons, and these signs like this are usually very spaced out apart. So coincidentally, or not coincidentally, after these events, we've had what? Epidemics, pandemics, wars. I remember before the C-19 came out, there was I believe it was a blue moon that year and an eclipse the same year, the beginning of the year, and that's been happening frequently. But see, the other nations, when they see these signs, they worship the signs, they worship the moon, and you got Jake out there that have taken on that spirit, and they worship the sun and they worship the moon, and they'll be on a carpet or somewhere worshiping the stars when this eclipse happened, you know. But that's the spirit of the heathens, of the other nations. But the Lord said to learn not the way of the heathen, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. So the way we look at this, the men of the Lord that are connected to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, we see this as a sign from the Most High that a major change is about to happen. And we know that the MOTB is on the way. We know that we are in World War III. It just hasn't touched homeland yet, but all the pawns are there. The pieces are there. And it's going to start with what? Insurrection, some type of event to cause a huge insurrection here in the States. Because when you destroy something, it's like a cancer. Once you destroy something from the inside out, there's really no repairing that. There's no balm. You can't heal that. When something is being corroded from the inside out, that is the surefire way to destroy a kingdom or system, is from the inside out. Insurrection. But circling back to this topic of the Great American Eclipse. So let's read what this says. Oh, not this yet. Hold on. I had an explanation for it. So the Great American Eclipse, it says, experience nature's greatest sight, a total eclipse of the sun. On April 8th, 2024, the shadow of the moon will cross Mexico, the United States. Hold on. I was looking for that little summary. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. The sun. Okay, here we go. Experience nature's greatest sight, a total eclipse of the sun on April 8th, 2024. Okay, so this is what I was speaking about earlier, that much of the things, this event is reminiscent to when Yahushua was crucified, because Yahushua was crucified on the Passover, and the Passover is during what? During the springtime. We celebrate the Passover. We keep the Passover during the springtime. Showing you that we keep the Passover correctly, or as correct as possible in his kingdom. Because when Yahushua, we're going to go into the scripture, when Yahushua was crucified on the Passover, there was an eclipse. After he gave up the spirit, there was an eclipse. A great sign in the heaven, an eclipse. And that was the time of the Passover in the springtime. Our Passover is maybe about a week before this event happens. April 8th, 2024. So Lord's will, some type of event is going to happen soon after. That's going to cascade into the MOTB, into an insurrection, some type of great event soon after. So it says a total eclipse of the sun on April 8th, 2024. The shadow of the moon will cross Mexico, the United States, and Canada. This spectacular total eclipse will amaze many millions of people. This is sure to be a record-setting astronomical event. All right. Now, if we read here, I did a Google of the eclipse when Yahushua died, and it says this: another explanation may be this, not a solar eclipse, but a lunar eclipse. When the sun and earth and moon align in such a way for the earth's shadow to cover the moon, because the Most High gave the sun and the moon a commandment, a commandment of how to move. They have their own rules. So when something like this happens, the Most High caused the sun and the moon to come out of their natural path, to create something that doesn't happen every day, that happens not too often. And that is the Most High showing you. He's showing his hand that he's about to do something. It's not a normal thing. This is not part of the routine of the sun and the moon to cause an eclipse. The sun rises and sets, and then you have the greater and the lesser light. When the sun sets, you see the moon. It's not normal for you to see the moon, and the sun cross paths to where you cannot see the sun in daytime. So it says NASA has historic maps of those too. A partial lunar eclipse occurred on what we know as April 3rd in 33 AD. Now, I don't know if this date is actually correct, but they're saying that April 3rd is a date that Yahushua died, right? 33 AD, that was the age he was when he died. Now, when we go back to here, where was I just at? Whoops. When we go back to, Slaki here, they say that this is going to happen on April 8th, the same time frame. So everything is lining up. A partial lunar eclipse occurred on what we know as April 3rd in 33 AD, the day some think Yahushua died. All right. So going back to what I said is that this is reminiscent. There's a lot of things here that are reminiscent to when Yahushua gave up the spirit and there was an eclipse on that day. Now let's go to Luke, and then that's about it. If we go to Luke 23, and I'm just going to go to the point here. Just got to see where it's at. Okay, let's see right here, verse 38. Let me blow this up so you brothers and sisters can see this. Down around 38. And a superscription also was written over him in letters of Greek and Latin and Hebrew. This is the King of the Jews. And one of the malefactors which were hanged railed on him, saying, If thou be the anointed, save thyself and us. Verse 40. But the other answering rebuked him, saying, Does not thou fear the Most High, seeing thou art in the same condemnation? So this man believed. And this is why we say this man is a member of the elect. Also what Yahushua told him. For him to say this in the condition he was in agony, it means that he was repentful, he was sorrowful, and he didn't feel worthy to be up there being condemned for a sin that he committed, to be up there with Yahushua who had committed no sin. And there he was condemned with a sinner. So he felt that deep in his soul. And that's why he cut the other guy and he got on him. So that's why we say he is a man of the Lord. He's a member of the elect by that spirit that's in him. That's the spirit of a righteous man. Verse 41, and we indeed justly, for we receive the due reward of our deeds. But this man had done nothing amiss. Verse 42. And he said unto Yahushua, Lord, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom. Verse 43. And Yahushua said unto him, Verily or truly I say unto thee, today thou shalt be with me in paradise. And it was about the 6th hour, which I believe that's noon. And there was a darkness over all the earth until the 9th hour. And the sun was darkened, and the veil of the temple was rent in the midst. So there was an eclipse. But this was a major eclipse. It wasn't a regular eclipse. This was a major eclipse Because when this eclipse happened, everybody in their heart knew what they just did. Verse 46, and when Yahushua had cried with a loud voice, he said, Father, or Abba, into thy hands I commend my spirit. And having said thus, he gave up the spirit. Verse 47, and when the centurion saw what was done, he glorified the Most High, saying, certainly this was a righteous man. And all the people that came together to that sight, beholding the things which were done, smote their breasts and returned. And then when you read on, it says that the dead rose from their graves. They lived a normal life. So these events that we're living in now, these are events that are similar or reminiscent to what happened to when Yahushua left the earth. And also when Yahushua was resurrected and he left for good, he left in a chariot. The scriptures tell you he's coming back in a chariot. So everything is circling back around. Now let me read about this. Now this is a great American eclipse. Now this is talking about an eclipse that happened in 2017. But let's read this, and it's reminiscent to what we just read in Luke. Millions of Americans will see the sight of a lifetime on August 21st, 2017, when a rare, total solar eclipse sweeps the nation from Oregon to South Carolina. Now we read that this particular great American eclipse that we're going to see is going to cover a much, much greater circumference. And it says this one happened in 2017. I don't remember this magnitude of a eclipse happening in 2017, but it kind of goes back to what I said. Things like this are supposed to be rare, but they're happening very often nowadays. But this particular one is going to be a major one like no other. This is going to be like the father of all eclipses. It says when a rare total solar eclipse sweeps the nation from Oregon to South Carolina, day turns to night for 2 minutes. And the sky's most beautiful spectacle, the sun's corona, reveals itself in grandeur. Now this is the important part. It says the day turns to night. And when we read in Luke, it said that the day turned to night. So brothers and sisters, I just wanted me to jump on that. So go watch the elders lesson over here. Again, this is an excellent lesson. The Great American Eclipse will cross over 7 locations called Nineveh on April 8th. And it's on the Remnant Saved 144. And with that, say shalom to the next time. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakudash. Shalom.